Hi everyone. I've had real problems trying to balance the camera. I really need to get some kind of tripod or something going on. Funnily enough, the camera now is actually resting on a cabbage. So I hope it's all, cool. I know you're not going to see my head much, but that doesn't really matter, does it? Like, it's more here. Now, I want to talk to you about apples. Now, where I am anyway, this part of the world, it's apple season. Now these are all organic apples from mine. Now you can see some of the browning where it's been, the apples actually rested on the branch of the tree, and that's what's caused that scoring on there. But they're perfectly fine. Now obviously I'm sure you're aware that we're organic here, so no pesticides or anything else. And I am a bit biased about my own apples, but I've got to say that these are the nicest apples I've ever eaten. Like, literally, when they were ripe, the other, came about to ripeness. A few of these are unripe, but they were on an unnetted tree, so I kind of salvaged them before the birds got them. They were like a little stash underneath there, so I wanted to get them before they ate them. I was eating a few the other day, and it was the first time since, well, basically since last year when I ate my own apples for the last time, that I actually ate an apple and it was nice and crunchy and sweet, and the taste of the apple just lingered. I know it sounds like a bit of a wank, but it just really kind of, I ate it and 5 minutes later I'm thinking, I've still got that nice apple kind of gig going on in my mouth. So it was awesome. Every year I just love growing apples. I love it. Now, this is only a few. There's another 5 trees packed, so we're making cider this year, so we'll see how we go with that, and I'll do videos on that, of course. Apples, I want to talk to you about apples in general, because although people preserve and pickle and bottle a lot of vegetables and fruits, apples are often overlooked. Because they don't preserve too well, they oxidize and what have you, so people kind of let them go. So I wanted to show you what I do with mine. Now, because we're coming into winter now, it's still pretty warm, or today's warm anyway, but winter is a good time. Apple desserts, I should say, are basically my favourite kind of desserts. I like stuffed baked apples and apple crumble and apple pie and apple strudel, so I'm pretty keen. Now, this is what I do with mine. All I do, now this might seem a bit kind of boring watching me peel an apple, but I just wanted to kind of do it to put the point across. Now, the other thing with organic apples too, I found with mine, is that they kind of, sounds funny again, I know, but they peel differently. I don't know, the peel just seems to come off. Now all I do with mine, I'll just do one that's so organic there's still an insect inside it. Alright. Alright, now all I do is just core it. I won't do the whole thing. Just slice them up. And then, I've got a whole big bunch of those. Now I've just used this saucepan, so that's why it's a bit gritty. All I do, put a whole bunch in there, and I put a little bit of butter and water. Now you can add sugar if you want. I would prefer to use a little bit of honey if I want to sweeten it, if the apples are fairly tart. I'm not a big sugar eating fan, so if you really have to have some sugar in it, go for it, but you don't really need to. If you like, you can sweeten it with other things when you're actually cooking whatever dish you're going to make. Now all I do, melt the butter down first, have it on a low heat, put in the apples and whatever sweetener you're going to use, give it a good stir, blah blah blah, and then add a little bit of water to it, and then just poach them down a little bit. Keep it on a low heat and just stir it often, alright? So what you get, I'm doing a big batch of these today to put in the freezer, is this. So don't cook it down too much because you don't want to end up with mush. Okay, so it should still keep the form, right? That's really nice. It should still keep that form. So just cook it down a little bit so like, you know, it's soft, but it's not turning into mush. Alright, we're not making apple sauce. We're stewing apples down to make into other things like strudel and pie and stuff like that. If you keep it to this shape, it'll cook through, but it'll maintain its shape when you cook it again. Alright, so all I do with this, I'll fill this up a little bit more, and I'll probably make about 7 or 8 of these today. Let it cool. Once you've cooked it, cool right down, put it in the container, seal it up and put it in the freezer. That's it. That's all I do with mine. And then I just keep them in there. When I want to make something like, say I think, oh well, tomorrow I'm going to make an apple pie, I might take out 2 of these the night before, leave them on the kitchen, and by the next day they're pretty much thawed out for me to use in the pie. And they're beautiful. They come up really nice. I find if you cook them, sorry, I just put the lid on, taking it off again. The oxidization doesn't affect it so much. They're just basically like cooked apples at the moment. They're not really browning right badly. Sorry, I know it's rude. It's really nice. And then just chuck them in the freezer, and they pretty much stay the same kind of shape and form and colour that they are, so they work really well. Alright, I'll be back in the next few weeks, and I'll be going through cider making too, so see how we go. I've got a lot of apples. I was going to say something else. We've got a lot of apples, so we'll see how we go with that. And don't really drink alcohol, so I'm just keen to kind of go through the process so I know to learn how to do it and use it to give away and stuff like that. Alright, cool. So they're the apples. Alright, now let me just balance this cabbage. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.